Hi guys, rise and shine, we grind, we are all fine, and the sun shines for yours and mine. My name is Tyrone, and welcome back to my show. Today I wanted to touch up on forgiveness and revenge. I wanted to touch up on this. The reasoning I wanted to touch up on this was because it's important for our minds, body, and soul to learn how to forgive somebody and not to hold some form of resentment within our hearts. You know what I mean? It's a heavy burden to hold something against somebody, especially knowing that that's their nature. You know what I mean? Even if it is a harmful nature, we have to be able to get used to the fact that people are people and we can't hold expectations of a person, and we have to realize that they are who they are and they're just going to keep doing what they're doing. But the best thing to do is to set a boundary and to feed into not to feed into their nonsense and make you want to retaliate against them. Forgiveness is, I feel, is a state or an act of sincerity in accepting one's wrongdoings. When it comes to forgiveness, we also have to show a sense of sincerity, not being empathetic or not stepping into those shoes. Those aren't the shoes that you step into, but what you can do is be a little bit sympathetic, and you can be sincere to that person and tell them, I forgive you, but I won't forget. I won't forget what you did, but I forgive you. And it's not also for you, but it's for myself as well. But because when you're forgiving someone, that's something that you hold deep down within your heart. You know what I mean? It's like if you don't like somebody, you know, that resentment that you might have towards not liking them because of what they've done to you. It's something that you hold deeply within your heart, and knowing that you are the person that you are, you wouldn't want to hold something like that, you know? And it's important for us to say that I forgive you, not only for that person, because that person might be trying to stop what they're doing, but it has already become an addiction. It's already become something that they're used to and that they've put in their lives. You know what I mean? So it's a hard thing, but it's also a beautiful thing to forgive. You know what I mean? Especially for yourself. We have to learn how to forgive because if we don't, those heavy burdens, they weigh on us. You know, every everybody has different forms of forgiveness, and it's important to be able to say, this isn't what I want to do. This isn't how I want to live my life. I don't want to live my life saying, oh, this person is wrong for such and such. You know what I mean? You want to be able to say, you know what? I have faith. I believe that this person is going to become a better person, but I forgive them, but I also won't forget what they have done. You know what I mean? And the act of forgiveness is saying that I forgive you, and no more actions will be taken towards like any form of emotion, any physicality that you might take, you know what I mean? Or anything that you might have done in retaliation to what that person might have done to you. You know, it's important for us to just leave it alone, because if we don't leave it alone, it'll only become a big thing and it'll spiral out of place. And that is where revenge comes in. You know what I mean? Once you fully forgive, you're able to live without that anger, that resentment, you know what I mean? That feeling. You're able to live without that feeling because you fully detach yourself from the problem. You're not attached to the problem, and you're not attached to trying to nitpick back because the person got at you. You know what I mean? And that comes in many different forms. That comes in physical forms, that comes in verbal forms, that comes in emotional forms, and it's just important for us to realize when to let go and when to forgive. Um, Revenge. I want to touch up on revenge now. Revenge is a harmful state or a harmful action of accusing, or I wouldn't say accusing, but I would say causing affliction towards a person who has treated you in a harmful way. You know what I mean? That's wanting to get back at a person for what they have done. That's wanting to go back and forth and to go for a tit for tat. And who honestly wants to put themselves through a harmful situation where you can harm another person and harm yourself? That's something that nobody wants to get down to. And the most important thing, like forgiveness, coming back to forgiveness, is to forgive so that it won't go towards revenge. You know what I mean? There are a lot of people that deal with little specks of revenge, even saying something verbally just to get that little bit of anger that you might have had towards that person because you fought with that person. That's holding in anger, that's holding in resentment, and that's also holding in grudges. You know what I mean? Grudges is one of the main things. That's one of the branches of revenge. You know what I mean? Holding a grudge against someone, because it starts off as a grudge and then it begins to be revenge. And well, it starts off as a grudge, then it goes to resentment, then it goes to revenge, wanting to get a person back. And that's the wrong thing to do. You know what I mean? And revenge is always something that leads to pain against pain. That's like a form of a hurt person hurting another person just because they hurt them. And it's important for us not to go for a tit for tat, because we always get it back. So that's like karma. We always wind up getting that thing back. We always wind up getting it back in any way, shape, or form. But it also comes back to the other person when they continue. So that's why it's imperative to not go back and forth, or not go for a tit for tat with a person just because they go for it with you. And to ignore, because eventually that person will begin to realize how much they've been doing to try to get at you, and they'll start to realize that they're getting those same things back. They'll start to realize that it's horrible in the way that people treat them, because people will start to treat them the same way they've treated others. You know what I mean? Whether it be verbally, whether it be physically, whether it be mentally, you know what I mean? You get the same exact mind game back. There's always the same thing that comes back within return. And whether it sneaks up on you, whether it comes in many different forms. So that's why it's important for us not to go for revenge. Revenge isn't a good thing. Revenge isn't something that we should go back for, and that's why we say we give the victory to the Lord, and we fight from the position of victory. You know what I mean? We don't fight for the position of victory. I feel that throughout forgiveness and revenge, forgiveness is something that is imperative for a human being to be able to forgive one another, especially in terms of just the life that we live, especially living for the Lord. You know what I mean? It's important, because how is He going to be able to forgive us if we don't learn how to forgive others? You know what I mean? It's important for us to remember that This is for ourselves. It's not for It's for the other person to say that I forgave you, but it's also mainly for yourself. It's mainly so you won't hold anything in you that is related to what you probably went through with a person. Mark chapter 11 verse 26 says, "But if you do not forgive, neither will your Father in heaven for your trespasses," meaning that if you don't learn how to forgive others for what they have done to you, how will the Father be able to forgive you for what you have done? Think about the many things that you have done, because we are all sinners, you know what I mean? So it's important for us to remember the things that we have done so that we can learn how to forgive. And that's where, you know what I mean, spiritually the shadow work, spiritually the just looking back and evaluating certain situations and just going back and saying, is this something that I should have done, or is this something that I can keep up? Do I feel like being revengeful, or do I feel like forgiving this person? You have to question yourselves on those types of things, because if you don't, then you're always going to have a fast reaction to every problem that is approached. You know what I mean? It's important for us to think within the moment and think, is this something that I should go for, that requires my defense? Does it require my defense mechanism? Does it require any of my energy? You know, and that's what we have to think. I wanted to make this video a little bit short for you guys so that way you can get a clear understanding, because I realize that throughout some of my videos it can be a little bit hard, especially with the pauses, and especially with the when it comes to my stuttering habits, you know what I mean? That's why I say I'm still learning, but I'm also not afraid to let you guys know what is going on, you know. And it's important for me as a human being to be able to keep going with these videos and saying this is not going to stop me from anything that I go through. You know what I mean? I've been dealing with speech problems ever since I was in school, from elementary school, you know what I mean? But I feel that it's not going to stop me from becoming more literate. It's not going to stop me from becoming a better motivational speaker for people to understand where I'm coming from when I explain things. And this is why I do these videos, because it helps me get better. It helps me want to explain where I'm coming from. And it's just a beautiful thing when you can be able to cherish the things that you're learning, and cherish your not only your achievements, but the things that you also struggle with, you know. And I hope that this could be a blessing to you guys. If it can, please leave a thumbs up in the comment section below, or in the like section below. Please subscribe and click on the notifications, and I hope to make another video and just see you guys. Love you guys, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day.